Over to you, Dennis.
Okay. So yeah, so we have standardized for many years now on the N1MM plus logger, and so it supports contesting, and it's one of the free ones that does that. And I think there's others that cost money, but this one is free to download and use. So we have used it. So if you want to install it on your own computer, because we have 4 laptops and we have four mark stations, so there are no extra laptops to go. If you bring your own equipment, you have to bring your own logging equipment. So here's kind of the minimum requirements. It's pretty easy to meet these days, uh, um, and you know. They don't recommend anything other than Windows 10 and 11 these days. And so if you have XP, that's not going to work anymore. They used to support XP, but they don't now. Um, and so that's kind of that. So if you need to download it, there's the website to go to, which also gives you all the documentation that you need to know. And what you want to look for is the latest of the full install logging downloads. And when I looked a couple days ago, it was 1.0.10251. April 16th was the latest of the full one. Then after you install that, you download and install that, and then you need to go get the latest update release, which is installed on top of the last full release. And you just need to match up the version numbers. And the latest update release was released on May 7th. That's when I looked. So you just there, and of course, it's kind of like the standard thing. It's when you try to install it, it walks you through the setup, and and you see various things. I just accept the defaults. They work quite well, and then you go through that, and eventually you get to and then it wants you to finish and reboot your computer. You do that, and the, then you do all um the update install, which is much the same kind of process, but that doesn't require a reboot. You just install it and you're ready to go. And if you never created a database before, you need to choose to create a database. And so you want to create you don't want the first choice is the old choice and not recommended anymore. And my programs don't support it to read it. And so you'd want to choose the second choice to create a database. And you just simply choose one, you create the name and save it. And then the next step is the station information that you need to fill out. And so our call is W3M. It actually doesn't matter a whole lot because we don't really use it. But anyways, I think some fields are required to have something in them. So we're in Damascus, Maryland. The grid square is FM19JG. Our CQ zone is 5. ITU zone is 8. And there's our latitude and longitude if you want to put those in. Can't remember if those are required or not. ARL section is MDC, and the rest of the fields don't need to be filled out. I think those might be the minimum that need to be filled out. So you just fill those out. And for the database setup, you want to make sure you choose SQLite as the database type. And I recommend that for my convenience, name it FD 2024 _ W3M. And the log type you want to choose is FD for field day. There's many different log types that you can choose for all the different contests that N1M supports. So then you want to choose a new log in the database. I took this screenshot some years ago. I don't feel like changing them every year. So then you get to this. There's where you choose the FD as the log type, and there's fields you can fill out. The only important field here to fill out is actually the mode, because that allows you to choose the mode when you're operating. So you have to make sure you choose a mode that includes whatever you want to operate. So if you only want to choose if you only want to operate single sideband, you can just simply choose single sideband, um, or CW if that's all you want to operate. But you need to choose all the ones that you might want to operate. So so you can choose all three. It doesn't hurt to choose all three, even if you don't only plan to do single sideband or CW. So and the rest of the fields really don't matter. You can fill them out if you want, because I don't use them when I fill out the final report. And so if you want to use WSJT or that, you can go into the setup for it and choose the radio settings, the addresses to get to it. And also you can choose a UDP server to get to the logger if you need to. That's um, for N1M plus use. And again, you need to choose these things, and you need to label send you know the you need to match the ports from the one on the right is WSJT, I believe. And so let's see. And yeah, and for digital modes, unless you really want to do the integration, you don't need to do anything. If you're going to run FLDigi, the N1MM has special integration with it, so you would set the path there in the field that's highlighted. And then there's a bunch of optional files that you can choose if you want. There's some support files which give you some information about call sign checking, and there's country files that help with things too. And also you can download a local copy of the N1M Plus operating user manual, and you want to place it in the documents N1M logger plus support file for your user account, and because then N1M will find it for you. You just choose it from the help menu, and it will open it up for you. So, okay, so this is the main window, and this is really for the important thing. I mean, because like all the logging stations for the mark stations will have this all set up for you. And so notice that there are three columns on the left there: CW, phone, and dig for digital. That's where the mode setting back in the other window matters, because if you only choose CW, you only get the CW column or etc. So you won't get the columns unless you choose them. And so this is basically what it looks like when it comes up. And one other thing to note is one of the first things you want to do is type Control O at the station, and then enter your call sign. And that way, the program will know that you're the ones that actually making the contacts, but they're made under the W3M call sign, but you're the operator. Otherwise, you won't get credit for the QSOS, but it only matters for that. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Okay. So to choose the mode band, all you do, you just take your mouse and click on whichever you want. So in this example, 40 meter digital has been chosen as the operating mode. And likewise, you can choose one of the other ones. If you go over the CW column and choose 40 there, then it's 40 meters CW, and etc. And this is what it looks like when you fill out all the fields. Here, the call sign was WX4ABC, the class is 4A, section is SFL, Southern Florida. I just made that up, so it doesn't mean anything. And then, if someone already has made this call in 40 meters digital, it will come up and say dupe in red letters there, so you know that it's already been contacted. So you don't need to bother contacting them again, and just go on to some of the station. So another feature that you might want to use maybe is talk to another station. It's on in the Windows, and it will pop up this dialog where you can type a message. Um, Either type the station name if you only want to talk to a specific station, or leave it as asterisk, and the message will go out to all stations. Okay, so that's kind of the end of my presentation for the slides, but we have, so I have one more. Ah, oh, uh, let's see. Ammo with that. Hold on. I had to stop sharing. I got to make some changes here. Um, okay, that's not going to work. I'm going to do this. Oh, share. Okay. Okay. So here I have two live Windows machines running side by side, and so I can actually show you the program as it actually works. Um, so you can enter a call sign, and actually I probably should change the database first. Okay. So like I said, one of the first things you might want to do is create a new database. Uh, So, and ah, okay, fine. It's not going to allow me to change it now. What? Why is it doing that?
Probably because you have data in the window.
Probably. You're probably right. If it does it now. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Um, right. I choose the wrong thing. Ah, there we go. So you have to scroll down to field day. Start date really doesn't matter a whole lot, but and just say, okay, now we got it. Um, okay, so now we have it. So we can type whatever class, I don't know, one B. I know where, but Connecticut would be one for a area there. So you type that and then you hit return and it gets entered, and notice that it appears in the other Windows system as entered there. Let's see, we're running phone on 40. So if you go to the other machine and try to make the same contact now, it will tell me it's a dupe. So and and so if you enter something over here, you see then it will appear in the other machine too, and it will tell you who made the contact. So this will keep you kind of helps you to know what's going on overall. And you can also enter these things in any order. You don't have to enter them, you know, in any particular section order. This is helpful if you're you haven't made the contact yet, but you're waiting to actually answer a call, a CQ, and yet you hear a previous contact, and you can get to fill it in. You may not actually hear them all at once because it faded away on you or something. So you can then I don't know. So and likewise, so you can do whatever, and so that's basically how things works. One other feature, I guess, is is you can partially fill it out, and maybe it faded away on you, so you can't you fill it at a time, but it faded away. If you type Control W, it erases everything and doesn't enter it. It's another feature. So that's basically how it operates. Is there any questions from anyone?
Oh, yes, it's Hank.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any advantage to integrating the NM software to the 991s?
Oh, yeah, I believe I've never actually operated that way, and yet,
Well,
but yeah, it will
I'm sorry.
change. It will track the changes. I'm trying to think what it does. It track the changes in the radio, and I think you can actually change the band on the radio at the same time too from the program.
Yeah, that was my question as to whether when you do change bands and modes, that will also show up in the NM software.
Yeah, yeah. If you integrate it, it will definitely go that way from the radio to the N1MM.
Well, that solves a lot of logging, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it will set things up for you. So that's the advantage of integrating them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm trying to get my wife's 991 integrated, and I have yet to set up the software yet. So I just was looking for some insight. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, read the user's manual because I've never done it. And
what, you've never used the user's manual?
No, never tried to integrate a radio with N1MM.
Yeah, no, I was teasing. Okay, thanks.
Because you have to have the cables that obviously to talk to it. So it requires a little bit more hardware. Not much, probably just a USB cable these days. Okay. Oh, I see. I'm not sure who was next. I see. Bruce has a question.
Yeah, hi. This is Bruce, AC60 here. I can't tell by looking at the screen how you're entering the data. In other words, how does the program know when you're done entering and that it should store the data? Are you just hitting return or
just hit return? Just hit return. That's all I got to do.
Okay, thanks. I wasn't clear because we can't see your hands or your keyboard.
Yeah, I know. I think that's I'm not sure you can do it with the mouse. But you can change fields with the mouse. But I don't think you can do the entry with the mouse. But yeah, well, N1MM is made for serious contesters. They don't want to take their hands off the keyboard, so everything is made to be able to be done basically from the keyboard. So,
okay, thank you.
Yeah, and so I guess Glenn also has a question.
Yes, Glenn, KC3CNT. So I often have my daughter there with us, and when she operates, I think in the past we've put her name in as the operator. Is that still desired, or?
Oh yeah, you can do that. I mean, it doesn't have to be a call sign. I don't think it really cares what you put in there. I'd have to look and see for sure, but I think as long as it's characters. I'm not sure you can put a whole sentence in there, maybe just one word or two, but it will take it and it will go into the log.
So we'll avoid long titles.
Yeah, I'd avoid long titles. I don't know how large the database field is for it and what happens if you put too many characters in. It may just not allow it. It may just simply at some point stop you and say no more.
Enough.
Enough. Yeah. I don't know how they did that.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. So do we have any more questions? So yeah, so everything will be set up on all the 4 logging computers for the MARC stations. And like I said, if you bring your own equipment, you'll have to bring your own logging computer. And I really do recommend that you really use this program to do your logging. I know, Alex has said, yeah, you can do it manually, but then we lose the ability to know that what stations you've logged. So someone else may try to contact the same station because they didn't know that you already did it and have dupes. But I can handle that. I filter out dupes when they do occur. Because even though it says dupe, you can still enter it. It doesn't stop you from entering dupes. It just will warn you that, yeah, this is already done. And a dupe in this case, by the way, in case if you haven't done field day before, is the same mode and band. So that's the rule. each mode and band, you can have one contact from the same station. So for a particular band, you can actually have the station can be contacted 3 times as long as the mode differs. So I'm not sure what else. I think if there's not any further questions, I guess that's it for me.
This is David. I have a comment.
Oh, comments too. Yeah.
Yeah. So from an expert contester, gave me the advice, if a station contacts me, even though it's a dupe in my log, respond, because they may have missing information from the previous contact.
Oh, yeah.
So that's an interesting point.
Yeah, I've heard that before too, and I think about that. But yeah, that's why it doesn't stop you from entering dupes. It just warns you that you're entering a dupe. That's all it does. It's just a warning. So it does not stop you at all. You can enter the same station as many times as you like. It won't stop you. But of course, you won't get any extra points for it in the for field day. But yeah.
If you did enter something incorrect,
Oh,
and then the list of the contacts there, can you then go edit one of them if you like put
Oh.
that wrong?
yeah, you can do that. I think then. Let's see what probably under edit. Yeah, the control you can do the menu edit the edit last contact, or control Y will get you the last contact. So if you know you've done it and the last one, you can easily go back to the last one before there's I'm not sure what edit current contact does, because that's one you got, but and there's you can actually go through and edit them all. I'm not sure which one does that right offhand.
Okay.
But one of these allows you to go and edit everything.
Did you mention that there's a little 2 buttons there about run versus search and pounce? Does it matter what we put in there, or that's...
No, it doesn't. I think if there's a field in the database, it enters, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. It does. Unless it matters when you have a radio hooked up to, I'm not sure if it would affect that at all. But no, yeah, because run just means that you're calling CQ on the same frequency, right? And search and pounce means you're going around trying to find other operators calling CQ and trying to contact them. That's the difference between the two.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of these fields don't really matter in terms of operation, but you can use them if you want. It just records information about what you're doing. The only ones that really matter are the three entry fields for the call sign class section, and also for the band and mode. Those are the only ones that really matter here on the entry window. I guess one other thing I could show you is where is that? Under tools. Let's contact other station. No. And there's I don't see what that is now. Oh, well, I think one way to do it is here. You can go down into the network status window, click on one of the, actually, yeah, that's the one I want to click on. You can click on this to bring a talk up, and you say, hi, and then it will pop over. Oh, and the other machine will say whatever your message is. So if you want to contact someone else, inform them something, you can do that, without having to get up and go over to the station. And you can communicate back and forth. And if it's star, we'll send it to all stations. So if you want to send some information to everybody, you just leave a star there, and your message will go to will pop up on all the stations that run N1MM. So any other comments or questions?
Glenn again, KC3CNT.
Yeah.
If I bring my own station and a laptop, should I be ready to support a wired or wireless network?
Oh yeah, that's good. That's not really about the logger itself, but yes, it will be a wireless network. We've been using. I've been setting up a wireless network for the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 whatever. I don't even remember anymore how many times I've done that.
And if I
Yes.
recall, the laptop can run on the AC power.
Oh yeah, the logging laptop, as long as you don't connect it to the radio.
Oh, okay. So if it's integrated to the radio, it
If
has
it's integrated to the radio, then that changes the rules, to my understanding. Then it has to run off of emergency power because we're running emergency power. But as long as it's not connected to the radio and it's just used for logging, yes, it can be connected to commercial power.
but there should be generator power. If I recall, there's usually enough drops to run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to ask Paul that, I guess, that we
Right.
have a generator. I'm assuming that there is.
Yes,
Okay.
there will be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, we always had enough power drops to go to all the stations. Unless too many people, I guess, I suppose there's probably a limit on that. If too many people want to bring their own stations, we might run out of that. But otherwise, yeah. I mean, I think we've supported what, 6 or 7 before.
Yeah, I think we had 6 last year, and we'll have multiple generators if we need to use them.
Okay. So yeah, you should have plenty of emergency power. And you know, if you have your own emergency batteries or whatever, that bring them if you want to run your station off of your own power source. There's nothing wrong with that too, I believe. And you know, and if you run it off of solar power and that, although the trailer runs off of solar power, we get extra credit for one solar power radio. So. Was there anything else? So I guess it's back to Alex then.
Okay, well, great. Thanks, Dennis. That was a terrific presentation. I'm glad that we had it recorded. We're going to upload it to YouTube and share it with others, or those that want to like view it again can view it again. It's terrific. Thank you.